Mom for City Council. Mom for City Council. Focus question. How and why does Mom run for City Council? It all began one afternoon at the Springfield Firehouse, where my mom works. How can we do our jobs when the roads are so bad? Sir Grant Goodman grumbled. You tried talking to the city council, Chef McConnell replied. They say there's no money in the budget for fixing the roads. Then the budget needs to change, my mom declared. I'm tired of our concerns being ignored or put off until later. Folks in this town rely on the fire department for help. We need a bridge over the river to help with traffic, and we need to fix the roads. That's when I looked up from my homework and decided to jump in. Mom, I said, you always tell me that instead of complaining about things, I should think about how to change them. How can you change these things? My mom shook her head and sighed. My job is to put out fires, James Adjustment, not fix the roads. I looked down and read quietly to myself from my social studies textbook. At the local level, communities are governed by city councils. City councils make laws, plan major projects, and work to improve their communities. City council members are elected by local citizens to represent them and their needs. Suddenly, I had an idea. What if you were on the city council, Mom? I exclaimed. My mom laughed, but Chef McConnell rubbed his chin thoughtfully. You know, she's right. We could use a voice like yours in there, Killa, he said. Passing laws, promoting safety, prioritizing and people's need. The mom looked thoughtful. I've never really thought about it, she admitted. Think about it now, Chef McConnell said, arching an eyebrow. A few weeks later, their mom and I took a trip down to Springfield City Hall. We asked the election official that Mom needed to do to run for city council. First, the official asked us where we lived. You see, Springfield is made of 10 districts, she explained. Each district is represented by one city council member. She pointed to the map. Our district, Ward 6, was in the western part of the city, near the river. In order to run for your local seat, first you need to get your name on the official ballot. To do that, my mom and I had to gather 100 signatures from people who lived in Ward 6 before the end of the month. Luckily, my mom's firehouse is in our district, so she had plenty of local support. We talked to librarians, teachers, and police officers, as well as doctors and nurses at the community hospital. They all sighed, and so did my mom's fire company and our friends, family, and neighbors. In 2 weeks, we had over 100 signatures, so we took them back to City Hall. The next day, the newspaper ran a small article. Local firefighter Killa Walker running for Ward 6 seat. The race was on. Now what? I asked my mom. Now we knock on doors, she said. It's called canvassing, and it's the best way to meet voters and learn what's important to them. Hopefully, they'll get to know me too, and we will decide to vote for me, Mom explained. On our own block, Mrs. Molina told us how worried she was about our public schools. My son's teacher has to buy her own classroom supplies, she said. That's not right. Our schools should be better funded. After all, our kids are our future. In another neighborhood, an elderly man told us he was worried that Springfield was losing jobs. When I was young, we had major business located here, he said. Now my granddaughter is moving away to find work. Not everyone was helpful. Some people shut the door on us or refused to answer. By the end of the first few weeks, though, my mom had made a long list of local concerns. Just about Everyone agreed that the current council member of Ward 6, Frank Lavelle, hadn't done much during the last 5 years to make things better. One doubtful woman looked right past my mom to ask me, "What's your mom going to do that's different?" Politicians are all the same. Nothing ever changes, no matter who's in office. My mom's not a regular politician. She's a firefighter. She's dedicated her whole life to helping the people of Springfield, I said, handing her a flyer. Here are all the things she's working to change. She still seemed doubtful, but she expected the flyer, and I counted that as a win. Sometimes people were surprised to find a 10-year-old on their doorstep. I tried to use that to my advantage. I used to think politicians was just for grown-ups, I explained. Now that I'm going to know my community, I can't see that politics touches everyone's life. Everyone cares about something that a city council member can help with. That's why it matters to elect someone who cares too, like my mom, Kayla Walker. Canvassing worked. Many folks grew excited that my mom was running. They liked her goals, repairing our roads, creating new jobs, and founding our schools. Some supporters were so enthusiastic that decided to volunteer with our campaign, and suddenly we had a whole team to help us. I went canvassing too, working to convince our committee that my mom would be the best representative. At last, after 3 months, election night arrived. The whole campaign gathered at the firehouse to wait for the results. The local news played on the TV while people congratulated my mom on the well-run race. Then she turned to me and said, "Remember, Jasmine, no matter what happens, we've early won. We tried our hardest and we've brought our community together. That's no small thing." I nodded, but my stomach felt like it was full of butterflies. I knew my mom was right, but I still really wanted her to win. Finally, the news anchor cleared her throat and the room went silent. It began to tie the city council race in Ward 6 between current representative Frank Lavelle and changer Kayla Walker, the anchor said. "The final ballots are in, and the winner is..." The butterflies in my stomach went wild. "Kayla Walker!" "Mom, you did it! You did it! You won the race!" I shouted. "We did it!" Mom said and swept me into an enormous hug. "I never could have done this without you, Jasmine." Then she stood up tall and turned to speak to the rest of the room. I knew in that moment she was ready to serve as the newest member of the Springfield City Council. As for me, I can't wait to be by her side when the real work begins.